What's going on, everybody? And welcome to a special edition of D-constructing Topic podcast. My name is David, and I'm your host of this wonderful channel, this wonderful podcast. We talking a little bit of football, American football. That is, let's go! Woo! Anyways, I got a lot of energies, as you can tell. I got my little jogging suit, my sauna suit. I was working out, and I tell people, let me tell you something. Whenever you have the energy to do something, and you could do it, just do it. Don't forget, because the minute you forget, whatever conjure in your mind, write it down. Let's make it happen. Let's join. Enjoy the show because it's a beautiful podcast. And we kind of want to talk a little bit of my love for football. Also, want to just mention a couple of things here. As you already saw in the background, I think we are ready for some football. My love for football, it'd be like this. Woo! Let's go. Oh, he's ready. Woo! Woo! Let's go. Well, that's my love for football. It's one of those things where, how can I say it to you? I love football. And one of my things that, as a Puerto Rican kid, born in Puerto Rico, raised in the Bronx. Football's not a big thing in Puerto Rico, obviously. Even though whatever it is, that we are considered American citizens or whatever, but football is not a thing. Baseball, basketball, wrestling, boxing. But coming to the United States, and I think one of the most important things here, and again, we got the background here. We talking football. We talking my love for football. Let's get it. In the background, it's a thing going on here, a theme that I love, and I definitely want to share that football because this is what football is all about. And once again, being that born in Puerto Rico, one of the things that when I was going to school in public school here in the United States, in the first couple of years, I was in a bilingual class, meaning a lot of Spanish kids, even though some of them, spoke fluent English and little Spanish, but for some reason, I don't know what the hell happened there. I don't know. The public school in New York City, whatever. It is what it is. I remember going to middle school in the sixth grade. They didn't have, my understanding, they didn't have a budget to hire a bilingual teacher. Or bilingual class. I don't know. Something to that effect. So they got me with the regular kids. And when I say regular kids, kids that did not speak Spanish, and that's how I met a couple of my black friends. I'm gonna say sometimes I'm gonna sound a little bit politically incorrect, but we in the context of trying to explain what football and my love for football. And there was these two kids who black kids, they were big in football, and they were very big. And I remember their names. I'm not gonna mention their names, but I do remember how they both love football, especially the New York Giants. And my first love for football happened in 1990. Was the first year that I kind of opened my eyes what football is. I had an older cousin who passed away years ago who was also a big football fan. 49ers, San Francisco 49ers fan, Joe Montana, all those Jerry Rice, boo-hoo, right? Roger Craig, boo-hoo, Ronnie Lott. Come on, man, really? Shit, my thing is this. I grew up in that year, in that 1990, and guess who became the Super Bowl champion? That's right, the New York Giants, led by Jeff Hostetler. Phil Simms got hurt. Mark Barraro, O.J. Anderson. Yeah, no, O.J. Simpson, but O.J. Anderson was the running back of Super Bowl 25. And I remember Super Bowl 25, but let me just show you how much I enjoy football. And, hey, listen, just listen to it. You got Oakland Raiders, man. This shit hits the tone.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song, he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. and the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their
Ooh.
gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Ooh. Over here sweating. John Madden, baby. Let's go. John Madden. Let's go. So that was right there, though. Let me tell you something. It's one of those things that, hey, listen, you have to love football, and that's my thing. Let me just show you another thing here. Look at me, a young kid. Boy, that's me right there. Look at this. Look at this right here. Boom, that's me loving football. You already know this is Notre Dame 2009. It was a dream come true. So I'm a big fan of Notre Dame Fighting Irish. 1990, once again, my understanding, the Fighting Irish was playing against the Colorado Buffalo in the national championship, so-called. And we lost 10-9. I think there was a callback on Rocky Ishmael. So once again, 1990 for me was that year that I opened my love to football. And two of the teams that I love in there, the New York Giants won the Super Bowl, and Notre Dame. Now, Notre Dame, one of the reasons why I became a big fan of Notre Dame is because they play on NBC, and when they play on at home, they are, they broadcast the games at NBC, Peacock now, whatever it is, still NBC. So that's the love I love for Notre Dame. One of those things is that because I grew up, or let's say in the sixth grade when I was with those kids, there was just talking smack about football, and another thing that I kept on, and another one of those things that I grew up. I'm not gonna say grew up, but just started watching football. Just started playing football in the backyard. I remember those days. Oh my goodness! But look at me here, and look at me there playing like I got the Notre Dame thing going on here. Dan, 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 dan. Yo, the goal, I got all that. Oh, we making it happen, that's for sure. And one of the things here, fantasy football. I just participated in fantasy football, and I see, somebody over here by the name of Chop Peso, trying to play me and be like, yo, I'm going to offer you Aaron Rodgers for Patrick Holmes. I'm like, yo, homie, yo, chill, relax. But fantasy football, once again, for those people, fantasy football is one of those things that is part of now the American football thing going on. And that's my thing with football and with fantasy, that it adds a little bit of that little oomph to watch a game, even though you hate the team, but you might have a player that's playing in the fantasy football thing, and you're going to say to yourself, yo, it's one of those things. And that's like D-constructing Topic podcast. I even got that name there. Boom. And fantasy football adds to viewership. And if you already know that the Super Bowl is the most watched sports event in the United States. Obviously, soccer worldwide, and the FIFA World Cup, and then I believe the cricket, depending on what team it's in the championship. If you got a team like India or a country like India in the cricket World Cup, you're going to see 800 million people watching that. 800, 900, almost over a billion people watch the FIFA World Cup finals. And worldwide, my understanding, football gets like around 200, maybe 250 million. They definitely get the 100, 110 million here in the United States because people love football. And even if you're not a big fan of football, the Super Bowl and the TV ads and so on is one of those things that people gravitate, because that's the day that commercials tend to cost a lot of money here in the United States in terms of the viewership, and why a lot of people like to watch football because of the Super Bowl, because of the commercials. Another thing to it, I'm going to do a podcast or a little podcast separately. It would be the video games, the John Madden franchise, the Joe Montana, which became the NFL, and NFL 2K25. NFL 2K5. Arguably one of the best video games. The NCAA college football, which is back after what is it, 10 years. There was a lot of things going on there. I'm gonna do a separate podcast on that on gaming and the impact. But I just want to briefly, and not even briefly, let me just engage how much because of video games, the John Madden franchise. I grew up with the Joe Montana. For those people that don't remember the Joe Montana franchise, let me look it up. Joe Montana football. Wow. Old school, old school. Okay, Joe Montana football video game history. Look at this. So this is Joe Montana football. These games came about. Look at Joe Montana. Wow. Oh my goodness. I had this one right here. Ooh, that one. I definitely had this one right here. Look at this one. Oh my goodness. I remember this game because I remember my at that time when we were staying in the streets or whatever it is, our family, we went through a rough patch. My mother, still got some extra money there, and I remember she was trying to make my birthday, Alice's birthday, and I do remember this game because I believe that she gave me money. So the game cost me 60, but I think she was giving me like 10, 20 for me to how can I say, put it on layaway. Wow, put it on layaway, and I managed to get the game out somewhere by my birthday, which is November. So that means from the what is it, September, when football season starts, all the way to November. It took me a couple of months. Wow, I do remember because I remember this game endearing because, again, even despite that we were going through a lot of hardship, my mother managed to kind of get me something for my birthday, and this was this game. So that's one of the things that I love about the Joe Montana. The Joe Montana. So I grew up with the Joe Montana franchise. Obviously, the next one would be John Madden franchise. John Madden. I mean, you could argue. I mean, you could. We could talk about again in another episode. Look at John Madden football for those people out there. Oh my goodness, I remember this one. This is a goodie. Woo, John Madden football. Wow, for the Super Nintendo. Um, Let me see. Trying to John Madden. Oh, this is one of my first. Now, John Madden 92 is interesting because he didn't have the teams, the players, but they had their likeliness, or how can I say, like they had their number. So basically, if you play with the let's say Detroit Lions. Now they didn't have the Detroit Lions. They had a team called Detroit, and number 20 was Barry Sanders, and the running back there was number 20. They just did not have the license for the names or anything to that effect. But you had, how can I say, the whole works, the stats and all that. So John Madden actually, Joe Montana was the one that first came with the names, if I'm not mistaken, and John Madden followed. Believe it or not, John Madden is created by EA. So again, that's another thing there too that I want to just discuss in regards to my love for football, and it's one of those things that this week it starts, and we're gonna have fun. It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna look at over my little fantasy, my little fantasy football thing going on there. Let me see. Yeah, it's a cool football show. I'm just trying to see what else am I bringing into the here. You already know we got with this. One of my favorite player. We got boom. All right, and so we're gonna go back to my little fantasy team right here. I got Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? I got Devon Ashane from Miami. Gus Edwards from the Chargers. Chris Olave. That last name sounds a little familiar. Chris Olave. Woo! George Pickens. Sam Laporta's on cue. Chase Jackson Smith Nagubar. I got the Browns defense. You already know. You got my boy Myles Garrett in there. You got the kicker, the highest paid kicker, Harrison Buckner. Butker. Yeah, for some reason, Harrison, My understanding that he's conservative. He made some uh, political comments there, and he got some attention. And it's funny how life is. I remember what was it? Eric Bischoff, famous from the wrestling world, said, "Hey, listen, controversy creates cash," and basically he became the highest paid kicker after that because he is a good kicker, great kicker. Don't get it messed up, but the fact that hey, listen, the guy got some attention, whether it's positive or negative, whatever the case might be. Yo, don't forget that. I got some people here. I got in the Christian Watson. Christian Watson, needs to step up his game. I'm probably gonna replace him. Maybe I'll replace him. I don't know. So we got Deshaun Watson. You already know he's my backup QB. So I got some moves. I got some things to going on here. My schedule. Let's see. Who am I playing? I'm playing Buffalo Mighty Man. Oh my goodness. And he got a little squad going on here. Now he's the champion of the league last year, and he was talking some smack here in the chat, like blah 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 blah. But that's all good. That's okay. We get it. Look, I can't even see where his where's his team at? So the projected total age would be haven't uploaded yet. So let's see what happened. Maybe that will come. When was it? I think Thursday or this Friday would be the football. I think Friday is going to be a Green Bay Packers game somewhere in Brazil. Football is worldwide. I've seen football have been playing in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, obviously, London. London gets its whole couple of games. There's a connection with, and I think that perhaps now the Jacksonville Jaguars is owned by the Count family, and they got a connection yet over there in London. So there's a lot of games that are played. The Jacksonville played like 2 games, so that's like they're home away from home. And that's because the owner is from England and he has some couple of connections there, if I'm not mistaken, in the UK. I believe he owns a soccer team out there. I'm not, 100% sure. So, so football in itself is a worldwide when it comes to United States American football on every level, high school, college, the NFL. When it comes to college football, I love college football. Now, college football seems to be a little regional, kind of, in a sense that it's played, or how can I say to you? I'm sorry. I'm over here not sharing the screen. I apologize. I'm over here going to play Buffalo Mighty Man, and I got a good team here going on. But when it comes to college football is interesting because it is one of the highest rated sports in terms of, even though it's regional, but sadly, it's one of, when, let's say, I remember a couple of years ago, Notre Dame played Clemson and we won, woo, and Clemson was the number one team in college football. And that game in itself, that game drew more viewership than the NBA Finals. And that's crazy because just to tell you, even though in football, in American football, especially in college, even though it's regional, and when I say regional, meaning that Texas, the Alabamas of the world, when it comes to Michigan, Ohio State, I'm sorry, California got the USC, University of Southern Cal. It spreads and there's a lot of love out there. But when it comes to like the national championship or there's big games, because there's money to be had, the viewership and the ratings for college football tend to be up there. Not rival, and maybe could rival a little bit of some of the big games in national when it comes to football. We're talking about the Monday night football game, the Sunday night football game, and now they got the Thursday, which you got to watch through Amazon Prime, which a lot of people don't like because they got to subscribe to Amazon Prime. So that's neither here or there. It's one of those things where whatever, So we got some games coming up. Let me see. Just want to go to this schedule. See, and Thursday. Oh, and then we got the famous, and I'll be doing a podcast on that day on Thanksgiving. So we got Thursday game will be Baltimore versus Kansas City. You already know those two. Ooh, they get at each other. And then we got Friday for the first time ever. A Friday debut, a Friday game for opening. My understanding, I think might be the first Friday ever. I see what the NFL is trying to do here on a Thursday, Friday, uh, Monday night. Because Monday, as you can see, there's only going to be one game. It used to be that in Monday night they did. So Monday night football used to be one game. For the most part, always been one game. I understand. Somewhere 10, 15 years ago, I think they moved to like a two-game thing. Maybe that wasn't working out. So what they did is that they put this game Friday, but this one's going to be in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. So this is going to be there. Let's see. We got a good couple of matchup here. I would love to do a matchup. We got Green Bay, we got Pittsburgh, Atlanta. Pittsburgh, you already know the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Atlanta Falcons, trying to get it going, trying to get something going on. Arizona versus Buffalo. I see that Buffalo, for some reason, is a team that is always contending in the last couple of years, but I think this is the year where Allen and the Buffalo Bills need to make a move. I mean, for some reason, they always, when it comes to the playoff, regardless of anything, is a weird team because when they at their best, they at their best. But when they're at their worst, you got Arizona, Kyler Murray and them boys, Tennessee and Chicago. So Tennessee and Chicago, two teams. Tennessee's going to be looking like a new team without Derrick Henry. Chicago's going to be looking like a new team without Justin Fields and a new quarterback there, Williams. Let's see what happens. This is maybe the start of something good for these two franchises. We got New England, Cincinnati. New England, you already know, that's the team that used to be that team with that team, but now with a new coach, start from scratch. You already know Tom Brady has been gone for years. We got the Cincinnati Bengals. You already know Cincinnati coming out of the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Let's see what happens. Coming a loss, but if they could get still healthy, Jamal Chase and them boys, Joe Burrow, let's see. Houston, surprising team last year in Indianapolis, always fighting towards the end. Houston, they have a promise going on. And then in Indianapolis with Richardson coming back, he was doing his thing, but he got hurt. Let's see what happened. You got Jacksonville, Miami, two teams here. Jacksonville and Miami, very disappointing last year. I mean, I don't know what happened to Miami, but once again, this is a make or break year for Miami. Yeah, they got this explosive offense, but for some reason, they got tired towards the end of the season. You already know. Carolina and New Orleans, ooh, my goodness, two franchises on the little slump here going on. They're trying to see if they can start that, that flow. Carolina and New Orleans. They're going to get that flow. You got Minnesota and the New York football Giants. Let's go. Let's go. Woo. Well, I'm ready. I'm psyched. Minnesota, New York. Let's see what happens. So, hey, listen. New York right here with our Barkley. Fresh start. Daniel Jones. Whatever the case might be. And then Minnesota's a whole different ball game. They also started a new quarterback rookie out there. So, let's see. Let's go New York Giants. It's at New York, baby. Let's go. We got Las Vegas and Los Angeles Chargers. It sounds a little bit weird. LA Chargers instead of San Diego Chargers. But once again, these two teams, they're going to be battling out for all day, all season. Denver and Seattle. Two teams once again. Starting fresh, doing something. Seattle had the Geno Smith story. Let's see what happens. See if they keep going. Dallas have Cleveland and the Dallas Cowboys. Ooh. But anyways, showing love to Dallas. Cleveland over here. You already know Dallas Cowboys with their history, even though they have not won a Super Bowl in a long time. And this is supposed to be America's team. Anyways, Cleveland up and about. They could just get it going. They got great defense. Let's see. Got Washington, Tampa Bay. Ooh, my goodness. Washington, Tampa Bay, two teams there. Tampa Bay, let's see. I mean, with Mayfield, let's see. I mean, something popped off. Something popped off recently. So let's see if they continue that little going on. You got Los Angeles Rams versus the Detroit Lions. I really loved Detroit last year. I really did. And, my thing with Detroit, and I wish they went to the Super Bowl. I think that they would be in Kansas City. They did beat Kansas City. They opened the year last year, I remember. They did beat Kansas City, so everybody was talking about Detroit this, Detroit that. I really like this team. It's a physical team. I just don't know how can I say? I don't know if last year like that bubble, because Detroit historically as a franchise always have like a one or two good years and then they go on a downfall, and then when they go on a peak, they just hit rock bottom. So maybe that could be that year. Let's see. Let's hope not. They definitely, I believe, like the one or few NFL team that have not won a Super Bowl, and I don't think that they even went to a Super Bowl. In the modern day Super Bowl, it's from 1965, 6. And then lastly, the New York Jets versus San Francisco, and that should be an interesting one. Aaron Rodgers, who happened to just play 2 minutes of his life and got hurt last year. I mean, that's just to tell you how bad the Jets, in terms of their franchise, in terms of their history, they just got bad luck. And they tend to do this once in a while. They get a high-profile quarterback. And, you got Neil O'Donnell, I remember, Brett Favre. Now you got Aaron Rodgers. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happened in San Fran. And San Fran, after another disappointing Super Bowl where they could have had it and let it slip away. That's San Francisco to you. And that's San Francisco to you, for the last 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 years. That's weird with two separate coach. Even when we played San Francisco a couple of times back, or I remember when we went to the championship, the New York Giants back in 2007, even then, San Francisco had a chance and they let it slip. Wow. That's very San Francisco like, because me growing up, the 49ers, they were a team. They were a team to beat. They won 4 Super Bowl in the 1980s and one in the 1990s. So I don't know what's going on with this franchise, but yeah, they let things slip. Oh my goodness. So that's what's going on. Hopefully you enjoyed this little nice podcast. A little bit of football, a little bit of that football flavor. We making it happen. Woo! Much love. And we're going to be doing these more recordings. You already know. I'm going to continue to work out or something to that effect because I got a lot of energy. But anyways, this is D-constructing Topic Podcast. I holler at you. Much love. I'm out of here. Oh, I'm out. Peace.